Glad they made that meme. They're actually correct. One does not simply get 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards. There's been 3 people, not one, to do it. I'm very honored to join Marshall Faulk and Roger Craig as one of the only 3 people in the history of the NFL to rush for 1,000 and catch for 1,000 in one season. Hey, I'm Christian McCaffrey, and Esquire has asked me to explain some things about my life and career. Let's dive in, shall we? So that picture was taken a couple off seasons ago by the Panthers social media team and went viral. They caught me at a perfect time. I just got done a little swole patrol in the weight room. Arms at a good angle, lighting was hitting me perfect. So shout out to their camera people for getting a perfect shot. So it might have enhanced my biceps a little bit, but I now have that guy on staff and he's the only person that ever takes pictures of me now, which is good. So. I think that was my freshman year of high school. Those are great. I played basketball, I ran track. I've always been a big advocate for playing multiple sports, especially growing up when you're young. I think the best thing I ever did was play basketball and run track. That was the best thing for my football career. And I think, training in basketball and training in track was a great way to make me a better running back in football. I'm a little bit upset that the race is that close. I should be winning by more than that. It looks like I might even be losing, so I'm a little bit upset at that, but I wish you guys got one where I was a little bit more ahead, but that's okay. Yeah, that was, once again, I love basketball, so every once in a while, end of the week, the training week's over, we'll have a fun day. It always ends up turning into a dunk contest. Every year I'm out of high school, my shot gets much worse, my ball handling ability gets much worse, but I can jump higher, so I usually resort to what I'm good at, and that's jumping high, so that was a cool dunk, my first windmill. Oh man, so that was way back in the day. It was the first time I was ever in a magazine, Sports Illustrated. I was in the 7th grade. Back then they had the Army All-American game and they had a youth game. So it was a big stage for me. You play in the Alamo Dome and I'll never forget, I got the MVP of the game. I remember Sony Michel was a big name that was on the East team. Guys like him and that you grow up playing against and playing with. So those are some of the best memories that I've ever had playing football. It's a pretty cool clipping. I know my parents probably have that somewhere in the house. My athletic family, yes, they cut out Luke in that picture. Poor guy, Luke. Maybe they can crop you in and put you next to me. But my dad played 13 seasons in the NFL. My mom was a soccer player at Stanford. They met there. My older brother played a few years in the league, bounced around teams. And then both my little brothers are quarterbacks right now in college. So, I think our whole life has been football. Our whole life has been sports. And ever since I can remember, I was competing with my brothers who are my best friends, and everything was a competition. And I think it's partly what makes us who we are today, and something that when I look back on my childhood, I'm very appreciative that I had brothers to compete with. That's a great article right there. I guess that was the announcement of me joining the Body Armor team. It's something that I'm very happy to be a part of. Whether it's the water or the actual sports drink, it's healthy, it fits what I want to do, and it's something that helps me whether I'm training or in an actual game. Glad they made that meme. They're actually correct. One does not simply get 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards. There's been 3 people, not one, to do it. I'm very honored to join Marshall Faulk and Roger Craig as one of the only 3 people in the history of the NFL to rush for 1,000 and catch for 1,000 in one season. So that picture was taken, Greg Olson at his Hardest Yard, which is his charity that he started that's been wildly successful. So shout out to Greg. I was honored to be able to play the piano with a group of young a cappella / choir singers, and we performed Lean on Me to the whole dinner, all the sponsors, all the donors, got to hang out with some pretty cool people, got to meet really cool people, and it was for an amazing cause. So once again, shout out to my teammate who just retired, by the way. Amazing guy with a hell of a career, Greg Olson.